Hello, my name is Asana6000.
And I'm Infrared Panda.
Today we'll be going over how to set up your test environment and how to create your first command.
Alright guys, so if you gotta remember, if you haven't seen the first part of the series, head over to our channel and watch the series from the beginning. If you ever get stuck or are going too fast, feel free to pause the video and then go ask questions in the comments. Alright, we're gonna get started on creating the test server, and then afterwards Hassan's gonna go over how to create our first command. So we're gonna go to Sponge, and we're gonna download Sponge, show all, and right here it says Forge 2092. We're gonna download the mod, and I'm gonna cancel it because I already have it. And now we're gonna go to Minecraft Forge. We're gonna go to 1.10.2, and remember back here it said Forge 2092. So we're gonna download Forge 2092. Go over here and get the direct download. All right, cancel that because I already have it. All right, now we're gonna go into our downloads folder, and we're gonna go over to where you can make a file location where you want to put your server, your testing server, where you're gonna test all your plugins. And you're gonna take these two files, or you're just gonna take Forge, and you're actually gonna double click it. And we're gonna open this, and then we're gonna install the server in this location here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna copy this file location right here, and then do that. And then hit OK, and it'll install the server into here. All right, now that that's completed, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a mods folder here. And then we're gonna drag in our Sponge download. All right, guys, now that we've dragged Sponge into our mods folder, what we're going to do is we're going to create a file called run.bat. So I'm going to make a new text document here. I'm going to call it run.bat. And we're going to edit it. All right. What we're going to write here is we're going to open. So what you're going to do, I have XYZ here as an example, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go here, rename, and then copy that, and then go back to your notepad and replace XYZ with that. So we're going to leave that down in the description so you guys don't have to copy that. All right, now we're going to run that. So let the server load up here. And it's actually going to crash because we need to go, once it makes it, we're going to have to go accept a EULA. And it crashed. So we go here to our EULA and we set this false to true. Good. All right, now we restart the server. All right, guys, so that's how you make a test server. Now we're going to go on to Hassan. He's going to show you how to make your first command for our plugin.
Okay, guys. So this is right where we left off with our initialize method and our logger. So instead of saying hello world, we're gonna say that the plugin is enabled at the very end, and that it is loading at the beginning. So we're gonna go on to make our first command. The first thing we will be doing is writing the executor for it. So I'm gonna make a new package or a sub package called commands, and I'm gonna make a new class called tutorial plugin executor. This will implement command executor, and now we're gonna add all the unimplemented methods, which is just the execute method. By default, we will return an empty command result. So this command will be fairly simple. It's just gonna be one command. It's not gonna take arguments. We'll go over that in the next episode. The arguments involves this parameter, and all we're gonna do now is make it so when you run the command as a player, it says something, and when you run it as a console, it'll say something else. The only other command source is the command block, but we're gonna skip that one for now. Okay, so to get started, we'll check if the command source is an instance of a player, and if it is, we will say um, and I'll just make the player variable. So you may be wondering what this text.of is. The text API was created by the Sponge team as a way to integrate both color, formatting, click action, hover action, and other actions, along with the text. So it's all put into one thing rather than in bucket. It was all separated. You had to use an enum and add it to a string, and that would give you a string at the end of the day, but it was a little bit messy. With this, you can actually look at the text and get specific things such as what is the color, what is the formatting, what's the hover action, what's the shift action, what's the style. We'll be going more in depth with text later on. We'll talk about colors, formatting. We'll even do how to do click action and how to show different things when you hover over text. But for now, we're just going to stick with this simple procedure. We're going to add another check to see if the source is an instance of the console source. If it is, we'll send a message saying hey console, and if it's something else, we'll just say we don't know what you are. And now we're going to make sure that if we come across one of these cases, we're not returning an empty command result. We want to return a successful one. So over here, we'd return command result success, and same with this one. So now we have to register our command using a command spec. And if you want to follow along in the documentation, we are right over here. Right here. So we're going to make a spec. I'll call it the tutorial command spec, which is going to be a command spec. Hold on. The description of it will be says different things based on the source. We're going to obviously set the executor to what we just made, which was the tutorial plugin executor. And we won't set a permission for this, but we could. The other thing that we'll be going over later is the arguments, as I said earlier. And yeah, that's most of it. There's other fields that you can answer, but those aren't necessary. We will go over where those are shown and how those can be used later on, and also how to do subcommands, or what are called children commands, child commands in the Sponge world. So the last thing we want to do is register this with the Sponge command manager, and that means we have to use a plugin. Say we're registering the tutorial command spec, and the alias that we'll use is /tutorial. And obviously, if there's other ones you want to add, you can just go over here and do like that. And that means that the primary one is tutorial and the secondary or an alias is tut. So we'll build this now by double clicking build. And if we go over to our tutorial project and you grab the jar that we just made and plop it into the test server that Infrared Panda just showed us how to make, and we run it, and we start up Minecraft to go test it out. Alright guys, the server loaded up and we are in game and this zombie is dying. So we're gonna do our first thing we're gonna do is run it as a player. So we'll do /tutorial and it says hello Hasana 6000, which was exactly what we told it to do. And then we're gonna run it again using our alias /tut and it says the same thing. So our alias worked. Now we're gonna run it as console. It says, hey console. Okay guys, congratulations on making your first command. This was pretty simple, but next episode we'll go over how to set up GitHub and how to set up Git on your computer. Using the GitHub that we will set up, you'll be able to track the progress of our master GitHub repository for this tutorial, so you can follow along in the code, and if you ever get lost or stuck, you can see the differences between your code and our code. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next video.